Everyone. Hello, hello. Jim Broyles here, and happy Friday the 13th. Can't believe it. So we're a couple weeks out from Christmas. It's a holiday season, lots of stuff going on. I'm going to make sure I am live on Facebook. It looks like I am, but I like double checking. And today we're going to talk about how to handle holiday stress, because you might already be feeling it. I know a lot of people are. Usually starts around, I don't know, Halloween, and then works its way into Thanksgiving, and then Christmas and New Year's. It's just, back-to-back things going on, right? So our schedules are full. Oftentimes we tend to overbook ourselves, and we are around sometimes more friends and family than normal. We have people staying with us, we're traveling. We're not necessarily in our everyday routine, so things get a little thrown out of the usual schedule, and we have to adapt. So that can be a little challenging too. So we did not have a weekly wellness event last week. I was on a nice vacation in Costa Rica and just had a chance to kind of unwind, unplug, and it was really, really nice. And now coming back in, just getting back into the swing of things and gearing up for the holidays and putting some of these things into practice myself, so I can maintain that sense of calm and peace and relaxation throughout the rest of this month and ongoing, ultimately, right? That's the goal. So I'm going to share a few of my favorite tips and strategies and techniques for helping to reduce stress to where it doesn't control you, right? I called this title "Managing Holiday Stress," and I don't love the word managing, but it really is about taking back control, not letting the stress or the anxiety or the overwhelm control you and control your actions and your reactions, right? And sometimes that's tough. But there's things we can do to start to change that. So I'm going to go through about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things that you can implement starting today to really start to get any excessive stress and anxiety under control and start to feel more of a sense of calm and peace and just, serenity, right? So despite the circumstances, despite the surroundings. So the first one I'm going to share with you is breath work. Okay, so using your own breath is a powerful tool, and it's one of the easiest, right? You don't have to go anywhere to do it. You don't have to pay anything to do it. You have access to it all the time, and it's free. So your breath is really interesting. It's the one function in your body that is controlled by both the autonomic nervous system and then your conscious nervous system. So you can actually control your breath. We can hold our breath, we can extend our breath, we can control our breath, but then it's also one of the things that works in the background all the time without you having to think about it, right? Kind of like your heartbeat, your blood pressure, and those types of functions. So it's a really neat function that we have in our body that works by itself or that we can consciously control and regulate, right? So oftentimes, when we're living in chronic stress, when we're busy, when we've got a million things going on, we're probably not thinking about how we're breathing, but if we really tuned into it and became aware of it, we'd find that we're taking shallow chest breaths, right? And that's not the proper way to breathe. That actually activates your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. And so that just continues to perpetuate that stressed out survival state. So when we can tune into our breath and change it, we can activate the parasympathetic nervous system of our body, which is our rest and digest and relax. Okay. And so there's a couple of different techniques you can do with your breath that are going to help calm the mind and calm the body. And you don't have to do them for an hour, do them for 3 to 5 minutes, if that's all the time you have. And you'll notice a profound shift in just how you feel. You know, if your heart was racing before, it's going to slow down, and you're just going to feel calmer. So one technique is, it has a couple different names. I call it the box breath. And the box breath is when you breathe in for a count of 4 or 5, hold for an equal count, exhale for an equal count, and hold again for an equal count. So we can do it right now. We're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. And you're going to do this in repetitions. Again, 3 to 5 minutes is a great amount of time. And I always recommend breathing in through the nose, and you can breathe out either through the nose or the mouth. Sometimes we can get a more complete exhale if we breathe out through the mouth. Okay, so either way is fine, but definitely breathe in through the nose. Okay, so we're going to breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Okay, and just do repetitions of that. And you can, leave a room and go do it for a few minutes. You can do it while you're around other people. They don't have to know that you're breathing a certain way. It's not that obvious. So I encourage you to give that a try and see how that works for you. Another breath technique is called rest and relax. And I learned this through a training I'm doing through a therapeutic breath work called Soma. And there's several different types of breath techniques to achieve certain results. And one of them is called rest and relax. And this one is where you breathe in and then you extend the exhale and make it as long as you can. And what you're doing there is whenever you extend your exhale, so it's at least double the length of your inhale, you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. You're activating that rest, relax, and digest state so you can calm the mind, you can calm the body, you can get out of fight or flight and be in a more peaceful state. So the way this one works is you take a deep belly breath in. We're not doing that just shallow chest breathing. We're doing a deep belly breath in, okay, through your nose. And then you're going to exhale it really, really slowly, almost like breathing through a straw, like you're breathing out through a straw, okay? And just let that exhale go as long as possible, okay? And you can do, 20 to 30 repetitions of this, okay? And so you're going to breathe in and then breathe out. That's it. So kind of purse your lips like you have a straw in your mouth and breathe out really, really slowly, okay? So that's another form that you can implement that's gonna really help just calm you down if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling irritated and frustrated. This is gonna really, really help you out. It's also a great one to do before bed too, because again, it's gonna really relax you. Okay, so those are just 2 types of breathing techniques. There's many more, but those are 2 really good ones that you can get started with. Another variation, if you wanted to kind of switch up the box breath a little bit, simply breathing in for a count of 2, breathing out for a count of 4. So this is something you can do in public and no one is going to know it. Again, you're doubling the length of your exhale. So it's going to help calm you down. So just breathing in for 2, breathing out for 4. So, or breathe out through your nose if you want to make it less obvious. And just counting those breaths and doing a few repetitions of that. Super, super helpful. Okay, the next thing I'm going to recommend, something that I love to do, is journaling. Okay, so if you are feeling triggered by a person or an event or a situation, then getting it out of your head and onto paper is really helpful. So journal about the experience. You can write out your frustrations, you can write out how you're feeling, okay? And feel those feelings. I think so often we try to forget about them, suppress them, bury them. But when we do that, they don't go away, they fester and they grow. So feeling those feelings without necessarily overreacting, right? That's the challenge. But feeling those feelings, and if it helps you, getting them out on paper. Sometimes just getting them out of your head onto paper helps you kind of separate yourself from them and make them seem less big. And so allowing yourself to feel it, expressing yourself on paper again is a great way. And then letting it go, right? So letting it go is a big piece. Another form of journaling that is really helpful is gratitude journaling. So if you're not feeling a whole lot of gratitude in your situation, then I recommend gratitude journaling and really spending time thinking about the things that you're grateful for and the things that you appreciate, okay? And writing those down. If you can only think of one thing, write it down, okay? But I encourage you to try to make a list of things that you're grateful for. There's nothing too small to express gratitude for, okay? So doing a daily gratitude journal. On that same note, gratitude and appreciation is the quickest way to forgiveness. So if you are holding a grudge, if you're holding on to resentment towards another person, towards a situation, perhaps towards yourself, forgiveness is only going to hurt you. It doesn't hurt anyone. I mean, not unforgiveness is only going to hurt you. It doesn't hurt the other person. It's Michael Beckwith says the 100% of forgiveness is self-forgiveness. And that's because if you're holding on to resentment and not able to forgive somebody for something that they did to you, it's not hurting them, right? It's only hurting you. And so being able to cultivate gratitude and appreciation is one way that you can allow yourself to forgive the unforgivable and let it go. Okay. The next thing is meditate. So meditation, of course, is amazing. Some people are a little afraid of it because they don't feel like they're good meditators, but there's no such thing as a bad meditator, and you don't have to meditate for hours on end. You can meditate for 5 minutes, and it's simply allowing yourself to be in a quiet space with no distractions and allowing yourself to listen to what comes up. Okay. And sometimes that's uncomfortable, but it's when it comes up that you can let it go. Okay. So even just starting with 5 minutes in a space where you're undisturbed, and you can turn on some, relaxing music. You could do a guided meditation. You could do a meditation where you're simply counting your breaths, right? And that helps you stay focused and in the present moment. And anytime your mind wanders, just start counting your breaths again and bring yourself back into the now, okay? So that's another good way to just kind of calm the mind and kind of declutter. Um, Going on a walk. If you're in a situation where you are just angry, upset, frustrated, stressed, whatever it might be, whatever emotions you're feeling, if you can get out of that situation, remove yourself from that situation, and just go on a walk outside, that's going to calm you down really, really fast. Getting out in nature, getting out in the sunshine, getting out in the fresh air, getting away, getting by yourself, and just go on a walk. Okay. And a lot of these other things you can do while you're walking. You can do a walking meditation. You can do breath work while you're walking. So even if it's a 10-minute walk, that's super powerful. Setting boundaries. So setting boundaries is really, really important when you are around relatives and loved ones, right? Because oftentimes those are the relationships that tend to kind of maybe not always have healthy boundaries. And you may get, opinions forced on you, or advice shared to you that you really didn't ask for, or, ways of thinking or belief systems that you don't necessarily agree with. And we're all, entitled to our own opinions and beliefs, right? But having those healthy boundaries to say, okay, like, I respect you and your point of view, but I don't feel the same way, right? And I would ask that you respect me as well. And so whether it is setting boundaries around certain conversations, or there's certain topics of conversation that don't need to be brought up in a dinner setting, on Christmas, right? Because it's going to turn into an argument, or it's going to cause a lot of tension. Okay. That may be political conversations, that may be religious conversations, it may be conversations about how to raise your children. I don't know, but making it clear in advance that these conversation topics are off the table. They will not be discussed when we're together, and saying it in a very loving way, but a very firm way as well, is really, really important. Okay, the last thing I'm going to share is essential oils, because I find essential oils to be a great tool for supporting your emotions, supporting stress, and reducing stress, and helping release any negative emotions that might be coming up. So one oil that's great, it's a blend. So On Guard, a lot of you are probably familiar with On Guard. It's our protective blend for immune support. So it keeps you healthy. It really helps fight off any seasonal threats that are going around, again, especially this time of year. So it really helps keep your physical body healthy, and prevent you from getting colds and things like that. But it's also very, very protective for your emotional health as well. It helps you keep kind of boundaries around you, and protect you from absorbing any negative energy. So this is great. So On Guard's a great one to diffuse. It's a great one to wear. Okay. And of course, On Guard has some hotter oils in it, so always dilute it. But putting On Guard on the bottom of your feet, maybe on your chest, the back of the neck, is going to really help protect you from absorbing other people's negative energy. Okay. Some other oils for specific emotions that might arise. So if you're triggered by something and it causes anger, okay, so some really good oils to combat anger are cardamom and ylang ylang. And of course, the best way to diffuse emotions is to diffuse the oils. Okay, so if you can put oils in a diffuser and have them in your, be diffusing these oils in your home, that's really helpful. If not, then wear them topically so you can smell them. Put them on your wrist, put them over your heart, put them on the back of your neck, behind the ears, bottom of the feet. Those are all great places to apply the oil so you have them on you. A lot of this I'm getting from a book that I love called Emotions and Essential Oils. I'll include the link in the Facebook group and in the comment section. Um, the newer version is a different color. I think it's blue, but it's a great, great book. It goes through all the different oils and tells you like kind of what the oil is. Like spikenard is the oil of gratitude, and then it tells you a little bit about it and some great ways to use it. But then in the appendix, it has just a very comprehensive list of emotions and the oils that are great to use for those emotions. Um, so the next emotion I'll talk about is anxiousness, right? So if you're feeling anxious in certain situations around certain people, then breathe is a really good oil to be diffusing or to apply onto your chest. So breathe is our respiratory blend. It helps open the airways, promote easy breathing. And oftentimes if you're experiencing anxiety, you're having a hard time breathing, right? So apply breathe, and it can just really help you take deeper breaths, slower breaths, calm those feelings of anxiousness. Serenity is another great one. That is our restful blend. So it's awesome for sleep, but it's also great for calming an anxious mind. So it's going to really help just calm and soothe and put you in a state of more peace, serenity, and relaxation. And then basil is another good one. So I've been using a lot of basil lately. I really enjoy it. So whether you apply it topically on the bottom of your feet or, the wrist, or combine it with some other oils in a diffuser, those are all nice ways to use it. Um, Frustrated. So if you're feeling frustrated at any point, then geranium and Roman chamomile are really good oils to incorporate. Those are floral oils. Floral oils all have very calming properties. So those two oils are great to help release any sort of frustration that you might be feeling. So I want to check real quick to see if there are any questions. Um, and if not, then that is all I have for today. So, oh, Diane says hi. Diane is my mom. Hi, mom. Okay, great. Well, I wish all of you a very happy, happy holiday season. And I encourage you to incorporate some of these practices to really make the most of the holidays and make the most of your time with your friends and family, so that you enjoy it and it's a pleasant experience. So if any questions do arise, feel free to post them in the Facebook group, and I'm happy to answer them. But wishing all of you a very happy holiday and Merry Christmas. Bye.